bring on our next guest from WrestlePurists. She is their tag team expert. We have tag team experts too, but I think we'll talk about some tag team wrestling and some other stuff too. But Charlie now joins us from WrestlePurists. How you doing, Charlie?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you. So what's the feeling? You're over in the UK. You're getting ready for All In. And of course, RevPro is also running a big show. There's a ton of stuff going on. What's the general feeling amongst the wrestling fans over in the UK coming into All In weekend?
There's a lot of excitement about, like, at the moment, because I live quite close to London. You can't really go anywhere without like seeing advertisements for it, or even just hearing people talk about it and like getting ready for the weekend. So it's an exciting time over here. People are like really ready for it now.
So I did want to ask about just the overall general feeling and how much advertisement there is. Zarian mentioned that like it seems like they're going big. I've honestly seen some complaints of like, okay, they're doing like billboards and stuff, but they could be doing more with everything. But you're saying that like it's pretty good as far as the marketing out there.
Oh yeah, like they did like all those projections. Like I went to a couple of those in London the other day. That was really cool. And you can't go anywhere on like the train systems in London without seeing advertisements for it. And that's been the way since like June now. So they've been doing a lot for it.
Jeremy, continue, please.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was dealing with something over here.
Oh, apologies. Well, that's good. That's good to hear that you being there, being ground level there, they are doing well with the marketing and everything. All right. So when they announced this, I believe the announcement was way back in April. What were your thoughts on the initial announcement? Like, wait, they're coming to Wembley. What were your initial expectations for this?
I was expecting like, when I first caught wind of like the UK show, because of like we had heard that they were like planning it and it was coming soon and that, I was expecting Wembley Arena. And then I heard prior to announcement that it was Wembley Stadium. I was just like, there's no way that's true. Like, and then it got confirmed on the Dynamite and I was just like, that's insane. And I thought like, yeah, they'll get like 55k in there. Like that will be a really good number. That's probably about what they're shooting for. And then like all the sign up numbers came out and it became this thing of, oh wow, they're going to do an insane show here. And I honestly think like, I know the card is something that people debate all the time, but I'm genuinely really happy with it. I think it's really exciting. And I love the fact that they've tied in so much to the original All In, because like for fans like me, I've been following the Elite since like 2013, 2014. So like seeing like them make so many references to the original All In, it's been really cool. Like all the build up to it.
Is there a match on the card that you are like specifically looking forward to out of all of them?
Oh, it's Young Bucks versus FTR. Like that was like the one match I was just like, if this doesn't happen on this card, I'm gonna be so upset, because there was the rumors of the Dark Order match and I was just like, yeah, it'll be good, but it's not a Wembley match. And then they pivoted and it became Bucks FTR, and I'm really excited for that one.
What are your thoughts on Stadium Stampede? Because we were discussing it earlier, of like how they were going to pull this off, because previous Stadium Stampede had no fans in the stadium. Now we got 80,000 in a stadium. What do you think they're going to do with this match?
I have no idea, because I've been in Wembley Stadium. Like they've got a lot of like ground they can work with. Obviously, it's a massive stadium, but I have no idea how they're going to do it with all the fans there. And I'm interested because I have floor tickets. So like where I'm sat, there is like a huge chance that something's going to happen nearby us. So I'm like really interested to see what does happen. But there's going to be so many references to like English sports, to like football and cricket, I reckon. So it's good. I think it's going to be funny to watch it happen. But I do also anticipate watching a lot of it on the screen as well.
What do you think the over-under is on a double-decker bus, a taxi, and maybe some bobbies and tall hats and all that stuff? What do you think?
Oh, there's definitely going to be something with like the Royal Guards. They're going to do something with that. Like, I don't doubt that like the setup for the show and like references in Stadium Stampede and other matches, like there's going to be so much that's just like so inherently British. Like you just can't escape it. You're in smack bang in the middle of London. It's going to happen.
Who do you think they have as the mystery partners for Blackpool Combat Club?
Ooh, Well, obviously, it's been reported now that Ray Phoenix probably isn't going to be traveling, so I don't think they replace Ray Phoenix. I think it's just going to end up being a 5-on-5, and probably Pride and Powerful is my guess.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah, we were talking for a while. It was when it was 6-on-6. We talked about Zack Sabre Jr. and Proud and Powerful, but I guess maybe not ZSJ. Or you bring in Zach for a different appearance, if anything. He's going to be appearing at the Rev Pro Copperbox show. Are you also planning to be there?
I will be there. Yes, I will be at that show.
Yeah, tell us. About
I'm so excited for that one. I think the biggest match on that card for me personally is Katsuyori Shibata and El Phantasmo against David Finlay and Gabriel Kidd. That is one of their big matches on that one. What else is happening on that card? Will Ospreay's fighting Shingo, and that's going to be main eventing. Zack Sabre Jr.'s got a match against Ricky Knight Jr., which is really cool because obviously RKJ is related to Surreya, so that's another big marquee thing for that family this weekend. But yeah, the card overall, like, it's really well put together. The guy who runs it, Andy Q, he's like smashed it out of the park with this.
Are you excited?
Mickey James is also on the card.
Yes, Mickey James is on the card. She's wrestling Alex Windsor and Hyan, so that'll be a fun match.
Hyan's been on this show, so clearly she has to win.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you excited to see Chris Jericho 2 nights in a row? Because he's
so pulling up to it. He's so going to appear at Pro because Will Ospreay's main event in the show. So,
what your thoughts on Surreya potentially winning at All In? And do you go big moment, good moment for her, or kind of still focused on the story? Because to me personally, I don't think it's time to take the belt off of Shida this quickly.
I love Shida, and I really don't want her to win the belt. I really don't want her to lose the belt even. I think it'd be a cool moment for Surreya, obviously, and she's going to get that hometown pop. But I think Tony's like overestimating how much British wrestling fans are actually invested in Surreya. If it was Jamie Hayter in this position, absolutely do it. Like, you have to do that. But British wrestling fans aren't as big on Surreya as like the US perception may think, because she went to WWE, and that was like really cool to see for her, and like I'm happy for her that like she's gotten to come back and she's getting to do this big Wembley show. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just the people that I'm friends with and I have the wrong perception. But yeah, I don't think Surreya winning would be the greatest moment in Wembley.
Okay, I'm willing to take that. That's what I said too, so it's good to know. I'm glad it's on my side here. Is what I'm excited to hear. So, okay, let's shift a little bit. Let's say you're around Wembley Stadium. You're looking for something to eat before the show. Where should people go, in your opinion?
Ooh, well, that's so hard because there's so much around that area. Like, as you're walking up to Wembley Stadium, they have like food vendors, like, because there's a train station here and Wembley Stadium's here. And then there's just loads of food carts on either side of the walkway. So you can get food literally like just outside of Wembley Stadium. But I don't know. It depends what you're looking for, really. Like, if you're looking for a British staple, just find a Greg's and go get a sausage roll and like a steak bake. Yeah.
Easy peasy. So London got Subway.
It does.
Although we were told by Alistair McGeorge from Metro UK that apparently the rail strike hits the stops in front of Wembley this weekend.
Ooh, I don't think that affects the Sunday though. It's just on the Saturday.
Okay, that's good to know. Now we can call him a big old liar for telling us that's going to affect all of it.
As far as I'm aware, anyways, I haven't checked it that recently.
So what if you're going to pick up some food on the way there? What would you typically get?
Ooh, I would not eat like at the actual venue because all the food around there is going to be really expensive, especially with like a massive show on. But I'll probably order just like McDonald's to my hotel before I go over.
That is definitely the way to do it. What's the difference in the buzz? I know one show is much bigger than the other, but the buzz for All In compared to WWE Money in the Bank, which was still a big show at the O2. Well, what's the difference in the overall buzz between the two shows?
I think Money in the Bank, people were excited for it just because of WWE. It's always like the bigger names. So, but like AEW have been promoting over here for a lot longer than people realize. So they have done a lot to like garner that buzz and like create the excitement for it. But with Money in the Bank, I think because it was like a gimmick pay-per-view, that kind of helped WWE in that respect. But yeah, with All In, people are just like, there's a little bit, I feel like now that we're closer, the excitement's like more evident just because it is at Wembley Stadium. So people are just like, oh my God, a wrestling show running in Wembley Stadium, that hasn't happened in over 30 years. So like every like person that I talk to from like an older generation, they're just like, well, I remember when WWE were there and they did the SummerSlam show. Is it going to be the same sort of thing? And I'm just like, I don't know. I haven't been yet.
You were at you were at Forbidden Door in
I
Toronto,
was.
and that's where we met after
Yes.
the 30-hour long press conference.
Oh my God, yeah.
We talked a little bit about merchandise and how
Mhm.
that's something that AEW has kind of struggled with the last few pay-per-views, really the last shows that they've been doing. Do you have any expectation for better merch, or at least just more merch arriving ahead of All In? Is there anything that you're specifically looking for if you're a fan going to buy some merchandise at the show?
Well, Tony said that they're bringing over plenty of merch, and there's going to be several merch stores in the area according to Wembley, like on their little FAQ that they've released, that there's going to be a couple of stands like in the actual stadium. Then I believe they said that like outside the stadium as well, there's going to be a couple of areas to buy merch. Don't quote me on that. I have to double check that with the actual website, but I believe that's what I read. I have no expectations for it because I just expect the Union Jack to be on everything, and that's not really my style. So it will be cool, like if they do like the I Was There shirt, put the Union Jack on that, but everything else you don't need it. Like British people aren't patriotic in the slightest, because it's not just people from England or like Britain, like people from Scotland and Wales, they don't want that flag on everything. And then people that are flying from internationally, like they might see the novelty in it, but you don't need it on like every piece of merch. That's where I stand with it. And I've been talking about it on Twitter for months and months now. So hopefully someone saw that and was just like, yeah, we should probably like listen to someone that's from the area.
What if they just had a bunch of different flags for the AEW logo, and then they got the Scottish flag? And I'm
That'd be cool.
American. I'm very bad with all the different countries. If you're not American, you're just everybody's European to me. I'm one of those people. But yeah, just have a bunch of different flags on there. That way you can pick and choose. Because from what I have heard is like, obviously it's going to be a big travel destination event, but like getting there for all kind of surrounding countries is pretty easy. So you are going to have like an influx from just surrounding countries there.
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool if they did like a lot of different flags, like especially like for the 4 like countries that do make up the UK. So like doing one for England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland specifically, but would be really cool. But it's like, are they gonna? I don't know what to expect, because I saw the merch at Forbidden Door and like there was some cool stuff, but there was not a lot of selection. So it's just like, are they gonna go all out for All In? I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
They've announced a press junket for Friday. Are you going to be in attendance for that?
Ooh, I did not know this actually. I am free on Friday, so I kept my Friday free just in case. So
do you have a camera and a microphone?
I sure do.
I think we have someone to put you in contact with. And
Awesome.
Also, is there a press conference? Do they announce that there's a press conference?
There's a media scrum after, yes.
After they always do.
You plan to be there. You plan to be there.
Yes, I've already got all my media credentials for that sorted.
Will you be asking Tony Khan when he'll start giving us a bottle of water before each press conference so that we don't die of exhaustion?
I'll put it in my question list. I've got a few written down ready for it.
This one from JoelPearl5.com.
Yes.
Did the media get water?
I'm telling you, they should hold that the media scrum just in the middle of the stadium. Just have everybody come sit ringside and everything, and just have it in the middle of the stadium instead of a backstage area.
That'd be so cool.
And keep the fans there, because if CM Punk's part of that, CM Punk's gonna say some stuff. This is the real pay-per-view to me. This media scrum.
This is where the money's at.
Yes, exactly. When it comes to the media scrum, we've had a lot of people who have done these scrums. What is your approach with that? Because we've had some wrestlers will kind of stick at kayfabe and everything. WWE, some wrestlers will certainly stick to kayfabe a little bit more. Tony's very open and honest with his answers, and sometimes too open and honest with how long the answers go on. But what is your approach when it comes to asking wrestlers and Tony Khan questions in these media scrums?
Well, I've only done one before, so this is only going to be my second one. So I'm still like trying to figure out what my approach is, but I try to think of questions that aren't necessarily like the obvious ones, because I feel like you go into a media scrum after a pay-per-view, there's immediately like something that everyone wants to know the answer to. So I try to ask like the ones that people think about less and like maybe don't think about in the moment. So I just want my questions to like be meaningful in the moment and to like be asked in a way that I'll actually get an answer to what I'm asking, and not just watch Dynamite on Wednesday sort of thing. So,
and that's the toughest thing when it comes to Tony, because I messaged Bill Pritchard yesterday after he asked, do you expect any changes to the All In card? And Tony gave about a 40-minute answer on this.
Yes.
And I messaged Bill. I was like, you know better than to ask about the card, because he's going to give you the history of the card
of every single match.
Yes.
I was in that call and like trying to make notes for that question, because I was like live tweeting it on Twitter for like on my account, and like trying to like keep up with him when he was answering that question. I was like, you are bouncing around between like 7 different wrestlers now, and half of them aren't even on this card right now. Like, what's going on?
I got up and made lunch during that call, and I can't, or during that answer, and I came back and he was still going. He finally got like an actual answer of like, we're gonna have changes, these are not changes I expect. It was like, oh, that's actually important information in this 20-minute answer. I think John Alba called it like the stairway to heaven of press conference answers. But yeah, asking Tony a question can be very tricky, because if you give him any opening to promote or to talk about his booking, he's gonna take that immediately, absolutely immediately.
It's okay though.
It can be interesting sometimes, but like sometimes that you want to know an answer to something specific and it has nothing to do with the booking, but he still finds a way to get there. And it's honestly quite a skill for him to have.
Oh, it is. I mean, he's in full on promoter mode, and he's learned. He does so many media interviews nowadays. And before, he used to not be quite as bad. And now, as everything is kind of shifted and AEW has gotten more attention in the other way, before everything was, you know, rainbows and sunshines when they first started out. Now he's gotten like, okay, just promote. And there are certain interviewers who are very well on there. But when it comes to like wrestlers though, in asking them questions, do you try to take a kayfabe approach there, or do you maybe try to feel it out and see maybe how if somebody else asks a question first, say, okay, they're going kayfabe, maybe I don't even have a question for them, or if they are giving true answers, like, okay, let me try to ask this.
Yeah, like I like normally see how they're approaching other people's questions, and then I'll either adjust on the fly or just be like, I don't have something that's going to be like meaningful to ask right now, so I just kind of leave it. Like with Toni Storm, I knew that she would like be answering like in character, so I was like, all right, so what's next for you? Like what's next for the Outcast sort of thing. So I feel like learning to adjust on the fly has been a big part of doing this media stuff now, because I'm very new to this. So it's definitely been a learning experience with the wrestlers as well. Like Bryan Danielson, like he's like one of the most interesting people in the media scrums, because like he really goes in depth and like answers in a way that can be taken as kayfabe, but also they're genuine answers. He's really good at it.
Oh, Toni Storm's my favorite, because she does kayfabe everything and gives one sentence answers and is like, I got better things to do than sit here for 3 hours for this press conference. Let's go home. So I love Toni Storm.
Toni Storm is all of us in this case.
Yes.
Yes, very much so. The trick is to ask Tony questions about money, when just money related and like business related questions, and hope that he just gives you the number answers, or that tells you that the number, it's the contract of a wrestler. That's what he does. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to hearing your questions throughout the media junket. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to a really good All In show, as I'm sure we all are. Is there anything else that we have to touch on, Jeremy, before we let Charlie go and go about her day?
I want to wish her well. Have a good time over there at the event. I know you're already over there, but have a good time at the event. I will ask. We did ask, what you're looking forward to the most and everything like that. But just your overall feeling about the show now that we are just kind of days away, because there has been criticism of the build-up and everything like that. But your overall feeling about the show now that we're days away from it?
Yeah, I was critical of the build. Like the beginning of August, I was just like, why do we know nothing about this show yet, other than like the location and how many tickets have sold? But now that we're like, what, 3-4 days away, I'm just ready for it to happen now. I've been so excited for so long, and having had my tickets since like the beginning of May, I'm just like, let's get to it now. Like, let's see the show. Let's see what's going to happen. And I'm just really excited for the whole weekend. It's going to be a great weekend of wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get out of here, tell everyone where they can find you and how much stuff you're going to be doing this week, because it's going to be crazy.
Yes.
Plug stuff.
Oh, it's going to be a absolutely crazy week for me. It's already been a crazy week, honestly. But you guys can find me over at WrestlePurists every Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern. It's 11 p.m. British time, so it's 6 p.m. Eastern. We do a Dynamite review over there, and you can find me specifically on Twitter at CHX_RLIEX.
Thank you so much for joining us, Charlie. Tell Joseph I said hi, and
Yes.
wish him well from me. Have fun this weekend, and good luck with everything.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on. Enjoy the rest of your show.
Cheers,
Thanks.
Charlie. Thanks for joining
Bye.
us.